Good morning from Barcelona and welcome to the new edition of EULAR Emunet Mentor-Mentee Meeting. I'm Jelena Čolić from the Mentor-Mentee Meeting, and I will co-chair with my colleagues Jen and Lisa today this mentor session. We are really pleased and honored to have today with us Professor Nils Venhoff. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
From the University Medical Center of Freiburg, and he's a senior consultant and a group leader of vasculitis group.
Hello. Nils, thank you so much for being here. You have an impressive career combining basic and also clinical research in vasculitis. Could you share some insights how you choose your path to come here where you are now?
Yes, of course. So in the beginning, I think it was for me, like for most of the clinical physicians and students, that it's difficult to find your own path, and you need advice from mentors, for example, or more experienced colleagues. You can ask them for their guidance, and also you need to try to find your own way to identify your skills, your talents, and also where your interests are in the field of medicine and also research. And therefore I decided to go more to the translational research, working close to patient care, and find your fields of research within this area. And vasculitis was driven mainly by the patients in my case, so I got really interested in patients with different kinds of vasculitis because of the broad spectrum of disease, of the difficulties to identify the patients and to find the correct diagnosis, the best treatment, and they are always between like being autoimmune diseases, inflammatory diseases, and also perhaps immunodeficiency diseases, and all these fields are of interest for me, and therefore I decided to go this path.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing these insights. So if you change the perspective, if you're like a PhD candidate looking for a mentor, so what are the 3 top qualities you should look for? But also the other way around, when you select PhD candidates, so what are the 3 top qualities you're looking for?
I think when you are looking for a mentor, first you should like the person, and it shouldn't be a problem for you to speak directly and without any thoughts about choosing the wrong words, asking wrong questions, and perhaps disappointing your mentor or something like this. So you need to build up trust very fast, and you should also really like the work your mentor is doing and how he's doing it or she is doing it, because you should, at least for a while, follow this path, and you should agree with it. And I think this is important. Also, you need to realize that your mentor is really supporting you and your career, and not only his self career. And yeah, also you need to realize that at least for a while you support each other. So the mentor is supporting the mentee and the mentee is supporting the mentor. So it's giving and taking. And the roles change during time, and the mentee is getting more experienced, wants to go his own path, and then you also need to find a solution to go perhaps the same path together for a while, or find a new path for the mentee and stay in good contact for the future. So it's always rescaling on the journey between mentor and mentees.
Thank you very much for sharing all those insights with us, especially this with different perspectives, from the perspective when you were a candidate and now as an expert mentor. That is an always challenging topic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming here and joining us. And I would like to ask all of you to stay tuned and follow all Amunet social media, and of course subscribe to our channels. Have a nice day. Bye bye. We are really pleased to have with us today expert and professor from that field, Benjamin Terrier, from welcome from the University of Paris Cochin. He's expert in vasculitis and the leader in the vascular group. So we will today focus briefly on some main topic related to, of course, mentor-mentee. So may you share with us your research activity?
Thank you very much. So I'm really lucky because I'm currently coordinating the French vasculitis study group, which was created by Loïc Guivin, my mentor, and which in fact is coordinating the clinical research on systemic vasculitis, mainly small vessel, medium-sized vessels. And so we try to conduct either retrospective study to try to answer some practical question in the management of the patients, but also to set up some academic prospective study, randomized control trial, to also give some answer to the question we have. And I have also activity on the translational and basic research aspect on which I worked on monocytes and macrophages in systemic vasculitis.
Impressive. Thank you for sharing with us that insight. And since you're expert from the both sides, as a mentor and as a PhD candidate, and it's always challenging be on the both side. So may you share with us like what would be the most critical three things that your candidate should seek from mentor and mentor from the candidate for a healthy journey?
No, so it's an important question. So I think what is important when you are a mentor, if I start on this aspect, is to be really able to identify for the PhD which are the key clinical questions that we would like to answer, because given the expertise, in fact, the PhD candidates need to be guided, by their mentor. So to help them to identify the good question, to provide them everything they need in terms of support to conduct this study, and also to guide them to really focus on the good question and to complete the work and to make the work feasible. So I mean that it's very important to be sure that the question will be feasible by identifying good inclusion criteria, identifying the key question. And I think it's something which is not so easy. It seems to be easy, but it's not always so easy. And I think it's very important. And for the PhD candidate, I think the main thing is to identify the good mentor, because it's not so intuitive, and I think it's to be motivated, because what I think really critical, and I don't know if it's the same thing in other countries, but in France, people sometimes have to make some clinical works just, to get their PhD, to get their, but not because they are really motivated by doing that. And so I think what is the big advice I could say is to like the subject they will work on. They will be motivated because it doesn't have to be something painful, it has to be something that we want to do. And so that's why identifying a question that will really answer a clinical question is really something motivating, because you know that at the end of this work, you will provide some guidance for the people.
Thank you. So be enthusiastic, be motivating, and be really into that story, commitment.
Yeah, exactly.
And determined. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you.
So stay tuned and follow the Amunet social media for the more information. Goodbye.